So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 simple tips to help you direct your subject better and take more powerful portraits. As a photographer, you need to be present. Not present with your camera, but present with the model or your subject. You need to be there with them. You need to communicate with them all the time. Far too often, the camera becomes a barrier between photographer and subject. And really, most of the tips that I'm going to give you are about getting rid of that barrier. As a photographer, you are the person who is going to see the image at the end. You are the audience that are going to look at that picture. And if you're not communicating directly and have a accord with the model, then your picture is going to be dead. So the second tip is a lot like the first, and that is listen to your subject. There's a difference between listening and hearing. Listening is an active thing. If you can listen to your subject, you can make your subject feel at ease because they will start to trust you more. If you just talk about yourself the whole time, they're not going to be sure why they're there. They need to feel appreciated. Staring into a camera is not an easy thing to do, and you need to understand that. And as you listen to someone, they will open up, which will give you a couple of things as a photographer. They will be more engaged in the image. You will start to understand how to direct that particular subject as it goes on, and they will start to trust you more. So even if you're looking for a portrait which is uncomfortable, it's going to be easier for you to take your subject there later on than if you just sat them in front of the camera and didn't listen to them. So tip number 3 is a really, really important one, and that is don't result direct. I get it all the time. You hear people say, just smile, just do this. It usually is prefaced with just, and it's just asking for a result. So you say to your subject, look happy, look sexy, whatever. Your subject is sitting there thinking, I don't know what they want. These are very vague terms. What you need to do is motivate that emotion from your subject. If you want your subject to look happy and not just do this, then you need to make them laugh. You need to make them happy. If you want your subject to look sad and severe, the two of you will have to work through the emotion so that you can take them to that place. And if you do that, what you get will be real. And that's what's really important. If you just ask for a result, what you get back will be forced. If you work with them to get that result, what you get back will be genuine, and you'll get a much more powerful picture as a result. So we've talked about being present, we've talked about listening to your subjects, and we've talked about the perils of result directing. The next tip I'm going to give you, tip number 4, is about increasing the speed that you're building up your rapport with your subject and getting yourself out of any kind of social rut that you might be having when bringing your subject out of themselves. And that is the pattern interrupt. Now, a pattern interrupt is just a way of interrupting the normal flow or pattern of conversation or behavior. Instead of saying, hello, how are you? Oh, I'm good. And getting into that pattern, you'll throw something in there. It could be anything, depending on how you're feeling and how much of a risk that you want to take. The best pattern interrupt I've ever seen was done to me by one of my subjects, and that was a guy called Jimmy Carr. And I met the guy, said, hi, I'm Ollie, I've got to take your picture. And someone called him a wanker from the other side of the room. He turned around to me and he said, to be fair, I masturbate a lot. At which point, everything was incredibly easy. Took the picture, fantastic, great conversation, everything done. We move on. I had to photograph the finance minister for Italy, and I was told that he needed a picture of him looking relaxed for his website. He was anything but relaxed. So we worked through a routine, which I'm going to show you later, which is tense every muscle in your body. You start with your toes, you work your way up your calves, you screw your face up. And I'm standing there in this room full of politicians telling him that he needed to tense his butt a bit more, get it really, really tense. and then release. And of course, we've got a great picture. So what I'm telling you is a pattern interrupt is a risk that you take with your subject that interrupts the pattern to make things present and in the moment, and you will get that shot. Just don't do anything stupid or you get yourself in trouble. So tip number 5 is probably the one I use most with people who aren't models and who aren't actresses, and that is embrace whatever they're feeling and never deny it. Denying it is actually a result direction. I'll just relax. I hear that, you might be photographing a kid and the parent standing behind you going, just smile, just relax. If you do that, what will happen is they will feel the exact opposite. The immediate response is, what, do I not look relaxed? And they will become more tense. What you need to do is acknowledge the tension that they're showing and get them to embrace it and exaggerate it. So if someone's tense, they might be in front of the camera with their shoulders up like that. And they might not have the dumb smile. What you need to do is you need to help them work their way through it by embracing it. So in the case of the shoulders, you would say, bring your shoulders up. Get them as tense as you can. If you're feeling nervous, I want you to feel it and embrace it. And you can do that, and then you can let it go. And suddenly your subject's going to be far more present and they're going to feel far more relaxed in front of your camera. So that was 5 tips to help you direct your subject better and take more powerful portraits. If you like this video, you can hit the subscribe button, you can ring the bell, you can leave comments, you can even join the Facebook group. Until next week, happy shooting.